All right, I think I'm live. Give me 1 second just to refresh my YouTube, get that muted, see what's going on. I'm a little behind. YouTube stream lags a little bit. Here we go. Okay, I'm live. Good evening. This was a little unscheduled, a little impromptu. So wait a little bit for some people to trickle in. Good evening. I really wanted to talk tonight. I took yesterday off, didn't do YouTube, didn't really watch much or read much, just did my normal life stuff, which is a lot of stuff. Played with my cats, did crochet, made some food, the usual household kind of things. And it was a really good day. Uh, in the meantime, though, I still got a lot of comments on the previous videos. I got a lot of emails, and some of them are impactful. They're very impactful. And I said, I feel like I got to address this. And they're impactful in a positive way because there's not going to be a negative Nancy stream. This is going to be, let's turn this mess into something positive because I'm feeling really positive and I want everyone to feel that way. I'm also going to really watch chat tonight. The last live streams, I really haven't watched chat at all. And I apologize for that. I used to be very good at reading chat while I was talking. That's a skill that I have let slip. So I'm going to have to get back into that. But hello, everyone in chat. Joe, thank you for being here. Joe is one of the mods. And please remember, the mods are always here to keep everyone happy and comfortable. And if you need anything, they're here for you. Okay, so tonight I wanted to talk about the fallout of the hidden true crime drama because there's been quite a lot of fallout. Uh, and I really wanted to address most of the comments. I've gotten so many comments from people saying, I was a hidden gem for years. I sent her lots of money. I really supported her. I thought she was awesome. I'm having a little struggle dealing with what's happened. And generally, on the internet, when you start talking about your feelings, you'll get the, oh, go outside and touch grass, blah, 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 blah. And I've said that a time or two in my life. Uh, but there are times when your feelings, they need to be validated, and you need to know that your feelings are real. You're not making them up, you're not imagining it, and you do have to deal with them. It would be very easy to say, oh, just go outside and touch grass and you'll be fine. Doesn't always work that way, right? Dandelion, people are being extraordinarily nice to me. So nice that I am like, I need to come back to YouTube. I've missed these people so much. I really miss interacting with people in a positive way that I really used to focus on back when I was doing YouTube before. So I want to get back to that. But there were a couple comments that I got, even in the last 24 hours, that really made me think, hey, there are 100, 200 channels all over YouTube making fun of Lauren, right? Being mean to Lauren, telling all these horrible things. But there's no one who's really saying, hey, wait a minute, what about all the people that are feeling betrayed, feeling let down, feeling manipulated, feeling hoodwinked? Those are real feelings. In this day and age, we're dealing with a lot of parasocial relationships, and those can have a lot of impact. And I didn't want to just let people hanging in the breeze. A lot of people have said to me, "Oh, thank you for welcoming the HTC refugees here," and I was like, "Huh." That made me stop and think for a second. I was like, there's a lot of people really feeling like the rug just got pulled out from under them. Their community they have spent years in, uh, probably lots of money in super chats and donations and whatever, Patreon subs, all that kind of stuff. And they're feeling like they have totally just been thrown to the wind and they don't know what to do. And that's gotta hurt. Okay. That has really gotta hurt. And the most important thing that I could do to be of any help at all is to validate those feelings and say, I see you, I hear you, I understand you, and what you're feeling is real. And it's okay, right? It's okay to feel that way. And then hopefully in the course of the live tonight, offer some assistance in dealing with that. All right. I'm not going to be the one who says, oh, you're being so dramatic. It's just internet. Just get over it. No, you don't just get over these things. You have to kind of let yourself feel the feelings, work through it, and go forward a little smarter, a little wiser, a little eyes wider opened, so you don't fall into this trap again. Because it's always going to happen. It is always going to happen. Um, Pink Pajama Penguin, hello. She says, one thing I've learned is that public figures doing awful things is not a turnoff for a lot of people. That's true. That is very true. Uh, it's wonderful to see you again. Thank you, Juliet. I appreciate that. Um, Pretty Lies and Alibi said Lauren. Gigi has made a statement. She has a public statement over on her Twitter. I think maybe even on her YouTube. I'm not going to speak for Gigi. Gigi and I have not spoken. So I don't know what happened there. All I know is that Gigi is also expressing she had a difficult time with Lauren. Right. So I don't know the particulars of it. Certainly not my place to speak on that. But this is not just something that happened to me. It's not something that just happened to Christina. There are a lot of people. So we do need to deal with it as a community because it has affected quite a lot of people, you know. And let's see, Dandelion says, I was more turned off by JM and his crazy head shrink stuff. That bothered me. Their response video where he pretty much said, we're all crazy. Oh, dude. I didn't like that feeling at all. Uh, yeah. So, excuse me. Um, where do we start? Where do you start with something like this? For me, because I disappeared from the internet 5 years ago, or however, whenever it was, I didn't form any parasocial relationships because there's a lot of YouTubers that I follow and I will watch pretty religiously, but I've never talked in their chats. I've never talked to them because I figured somebody's going to bring up the crap from my past with Lauren, and I'm going to have to defend myself and get into that again. Or people in their chat will get mad that I'm in their chat and will unsub from them. And I was very concerned that my presence could have a damaging or negative impact on another YouTuber. So I've been at arm's length, right? I sub to quite a few channels. I don't think any of them know it because they don't need to, right? So I think I've had, I wouldn't say healthy relationship with the internet because I've gone the opposite direction, right? I've gone from being open and talking to everyone and making friends left, right, and center to not talking to anyone on the internet, right? So I went the opposite direction. And that's not healthy either. So what is a healthy relationship? That's something I hope we can talk about tonight. Um, Curious Cat says, I can only imagine how Kresha and Kay feel. Personally, I felt betrayed, used, and pissed. I'm just a longtime viewer. It feels like an injustice, and they will be just allowed to keep doing it. Yeah, yeah, that isn't anybody going to stop this feeling, right? How can they just keep going and making more super chats and making more money and putting up more videos? Like, wait a minute, stop. It is going to keep going, right? That clearly Lauren has doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down on her position. I don't understand that. I don't often see someone self implode to this degree, right? And I'm kind of shocked about that, but whatever. Uh, you know, just. Um, but we have to understand that it's very easy to form what we think is a friendship with someone we watch on YouTube, especially someone we watch a lot, right? There's one person who streams trials that I watch pretty much all day, every day. Okay. They're live 8 to 12 hours a day covering trials. I love their personality, love the channel, love the community. Never said a word in chat because I didn't want to become the focus of the chat. Like, oh, that Eamon Reese. Oh, do you know what Lord Matthias said about her all those years ago? I don't want that for them. Right. But I still feel like if I saw this person on the street, I'd go give him a hug and be like, hey, how you doing, man? He has no idea who I am. It's very easy to create relationships in our heads with somebody that we see or talk to or listen to or chat with all day long. It's very hard to compartmentalize that into a box, saying, yes, this is just some person on YouTube. They don't know me from Adam. They don't care about me. They're just doing their thing. And for my generation, right, for Gen X, we grew up without the internet. We didn't grow up making friends in a computer. We went outside and we went to the park or the playground or school or whatever. We've never had, we didn't grow up thinking that was normal. For my daughter's generation, she grew up, she was on the internet by the time she was two, playing little kid games and things. Obviously, I was a good parent. I monitored what she did on the internet. But to that generation, it's normal. Of course, you have friends, and friendships may seem very real to that generation more than maybe to my generation because we're like, why is my computer talking to me? Who is that? We're a little bit more suspicious of that than the younger generations. But we are no less susceptible to creating things in our minds that feel so very real. And the issue comes into play when these relationships fail, as they often do, that it hurts. And wait a minute, is that cement shoes in my chat? Cement shoes. Oh man. Hi, Cement Shoes. I remember you very, very fondly. I'm so glad to see you here in chat. Yay. See, that makes me so happy. Little things like that just make me crazy happy. Um, so where was I? I was talking about, yes, how it can hurt. Right. J Fox says the parasocial relationship dynamics on social media are wild. You form bonds with strangers. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I'm not saying internet relationships can be bad. I married my husband. I met him on the internet in AOL in 1999 or earlier than that. But yeah, okay, you can form real life good lasting relationships with people on the internet. It can happen. Our powers of discernment though sometimes can be quite lacking, and that's a problem. So what we have here in this situation, what I see is a lot of people hurting. Okay, I've read every single comment that has been left on every single video I've made since this broke, and I heart them to let them know I'm actually reading your comments. Okay, I'm not just skipping over them, and there are so many people who are expressing how hurt they feel, and I was thinking about it like, well, most of you have never met Lauren in person, right? Wouldn't call her like a friend. But that doesn't mean that the relationship bond wasn't there. It doesn't mean that wasn't real, and it doesn't mean that this doesn't hurt. And I get that. So I think what a lot of people are going to be feeling right now is a little anger, right? A little hurt, little pain, little feeling of betrayal, feeling of being manipulated, all of that. And that's not a good feeling. It isn't. So the first thing I'm telling you is I really see you, and I validate your feelings because I understand that they're real and you are having them, and I'm not telling you you're crazy. Okay? I'm not. Um, what I want to tell you is it's okay. It's all right. Right? You're going to get through it. We're all going to get through it. We're going to pick back up as a community and we're going to move forward. And we'll go forward smarter and better, right? Like Maya Angelou always said, know better, do better. Now we know better, we learned something, and so now we're going to do better. Um, I also wanted to talk a little bit about monetization. Hold on, I need a drink. Actually, I'll hold that because that's a good comment Sarah just made in chat. Sarah Ann Poland says, I just realized she never really cared about victims. It was self serving, and that made me so sad. I'm glad to know the truth now. That's probably the saddest part. That's certainly the part that angered me the most, that made me come out of hiding and start making videos on it. When I realized what had been done to the family, at least in the Vallow Daybell case. I don't know I don't know Lauren's coverage of the other cases she's covered because I wasn't watching her. All right, so I don't know what happened in Delphi and all those other cases. The only one that I know personally is the Valor Daybell case. And when I heard that she had said things about Kay and Kresha, I'm sorry, that pissed me off. That pissed me off a treat. And I said, that's it. I'm jumping back in. Here we go. Hold my beer. Right. And a lot of people are feeling that right now. Excuse me 1 second. I am about to sneeze. Hold on. Whew. All right. Sorry. Allergy season still in full swing, kicking my butt. Uh, so did did Lauren ever care about the victims? Well, you know, you have to make your own opinion on that. I can't tell you what she did or didn't feel. Her behavior to me says no, she did not. That's all I can look at. What do I see in the behavior? That tells me kind of what I need to know. Back at that time, way back when the Valor Daybell case was breaking, YouTube true crime was not such a big thing as it is now. Okay, we had just come off, not just, but come off the Watts case. Does anybody remember the Chris Watts case? That on YouTube was an absolute nightmare. All right, you had creators swatting each other. You had one creator over here calling CPS on that creator over there because they had kids and they wanted to hurt them, and then swatting this one. And my word, did that go insane. All right. And that wasn't anything about the case. That was just creators deciding they didn't like each other. Right. It was absolutely insane. Like, still to this day, I can't believe some of the crap that went on during the coverage of the Watts case. All right. This is different. This feels very different than that. At least this case hasn't resorted to swatting, although there is an allegation that someone was swatted in a different case. So that's a thing. But it doesn't seem to be the absolute creator on creator hostility that there was. Um, that's good. I'm kind of thankful for that. And I remember I watched the Watts case very closely, very, very closely. I was absolutely just, I could not stop watching that case. I couldn't believe it, the whole case itself. But watching what happened on YouTube made me absolutely gun shy to do anything true crime because it was, yeah, if you miss the watch time, I can't articulate just how insane it was. So I always said to myself, all right, if I ever do something like that, I'm just going to do my coverage and I'm not going to talk about a single other creator because I'm not starting a fight. You say, oh, well, I think so and so is wrong about this. Boom. Next thing you're getting swatted. I don't want that. Uh, so I tried to just do my own thing. When Lauren started, she was doing her own thing, but there was definitely a level of competition. Oh, Cement Shoes, that name. Oh my God. PTSD from that name. Oh goodness. You know exactly what I'm talking about then with the watch case. Yeah, that guy. So yeah, when Lauren started covering the Valor Daybell case, there was an air of competition, right? Of who could get this interview or who could get that interview or da 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 da. And it got, I don't know, wasn't really part of that because I didn't care what the other creators were doing. I didn't care if they got an interview. Lauren interviewed some people that kind of made the hair stand up on the back of my head. Like, it's like she was interviewing people from the enemy camp, I guess you could say that. Some of the people involved in the wider cult group surrounding Lori. And I thought that was a little crazy, but I was like, well, more power to you. I don't want them over here. And that was kind of creepy. But hey, she was getting the story out, I guess. I don't know. But it wasn't something I wanted to do. But I certainly wasn't going to sit here and do videos about how terrible she was for interviewing them. And I was like, I don't care, do your thing. Uh, and I was doing my thing. But right then, it was very clear that her getting the scoop and getting the almost clickbait guests on her show was important to her. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. That just wasn't my thing. All right, and I don't believe I may have had Kresha up once, but in my entire coverage of Valodable, I don't think I had any family actually on my live stream because I wasn't putting them out there. That was not my job or my place. Any conversations I had with them were behind the scenes and not for public consumption. That's what I thought was the better thing to do. Uh, and this is a difference that I see in a lot of YouTube issues. There are some people who want to be the really big YouTuber, right? They want to have 300 something thousand subs. They want to be making all the money. They want to be seen as the expert on this case or that case or whatever they're doing. And then there are people like me who want to cover a case that I'm fascinated by and can't stop thinking about. I wasn't out pounding for subs. I wasn't, throwing myself all over in the internet trying to find subs from here, there, and everywhere. I wasn't worried about monetizing every single aspect of my channel. I did have a Patreon mainly because I had some content that I didn't really want fully public, but they were my deeper research into the Mormon religion and things like that. But my Patreon was like $1, $2, and $5. And I thought that was outrageous. I don't have a $50 Patreon tier because to me that feels like stealing or something, you know. Um, and so I've always approached the internet from a maybe from a Gen X perspective. That's all I can say. I never thought monetization was a huge deal. But for Lauren, that was a focus, a big focus. And I was like, okay, well, good luck. Have fun doing your stuff. And she did it. Okay. If people want to pay her $50 a month to listen to her talk, I'm not going to stop them. But I didn't like that, and I didn't want it. So, meh. I need more soda. I'm sorry. It's going to be like another month of bad allergies with this medicine. I'm on a hydroxyzine, I think. My daughter said that's what it was called. Uh, Last night I took a real Benadryl, knocked my butt out for 8 solid hours, and today I feel like some kind of zombie thing, but my mouth is so dry. Oh, anyway, enough about that. That's boring. Um, but for someone who had followed Lauren from way back in those days, you would have quickly become accustomed to her, um, the way she ran her channel, right? Uh, Yes, she spammed other channels' comments to boot. Yes, she did. She did that to me. She would leave comments under my videos. If I posted anywhere on Facebook or Reddit, she would always come right back in with a plug for her channel. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Cement Shoes, yes, we called him Mason Cow. I need to sit down with Cement Shoes and just reminisce for an hour. Because, boy, we had some fun back then. Back in the day. Jason Mao is one of the characters in the Lori Vallow Daybell broader cult circle. And he's so creepy that I was like, I'm not even saying his name. So we just called him Mason Cow, and everybody knew who I was talking about. And that was fine. Because, yeah, he's crazy. Hydroxyzine will know you out, just know that. Apparently it's amazing. Yeah, that's what my daughter has the prescription for it, and she's like, try that. I'm like, I don't know about that. She's like, it's gonna knock you out 8 to 12 hours, but boy, you will not sneeze for a month. So yeah. But I am a very lightweight type person when it comes to medications. Like I can't drink alcohol. I can't drink a whole beer before I'm like ready to lay down. So yeah. Uh Jason the cop who Mel Gib. Yeah, something like that, Joe. Yeah, I have a memory of that. Yeah, knock you out. It will. It will knock you out. But to me, even a Benadryl knocks me out for 8 straight hours. So Yeah, I'm not sure if I should try hydroxyzine. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna go to the clinic and get something better. Um, but way back in the day, starting covering the case, Lauren, when she started her channel, she would do all of the very hard sales tactics, like posting her channel everywhere. Anything somebody said anything about Lori Vallow Daybell, she'd be right there. Here's my channel. Here's my channel. Here's my channel. Come sub. Come sub. Come sub. Sign up. That was when YouTube membership had just started. That was a brand new thing. So be a member. Come do Patreon. Do all this stuff. And I was like, wow, that's a lot. I just had my Patreon mainly because I had some things I didn't really want to get into about the Mormon religion publicly. And we also did my Toxic Bliss live streams there because those are people who are survivors of abusive relationships. Sometimes they don't want to be up in public all over YouTube. So we do our lives there. It was nice and quiet and a little safer and that. But it was also $1 a month. So, you know. I don't feel like I was exploiting anyone. I kept my costs the minimum that you could set it at, and it worked great. Uh, but if you followed Lauren from then, and you got used to that, the way that she ran her channel, and then you got used to some of her more controversial interviews with people that most other people wouldn't have touched, and you're like, okay, well, this is good, hard hitting journalism, right? And they kind of made it go that way. Hold on. Not Ala plays. Sorry if I said that wrong. I'm sorry if I missed it, but did you discuss what made John so mad? John was not mad at me. If he was, I didn't know about it. Did John say something about me? That'd be interesting. I never had any interactions with John at all, so I don't know why he'd be mad at me. No, he could be. I don't know. Yeah. I think John was mad at. I know he talked about being mad at their lawyer friend because she cut him off during a. Yeah, he went off on Lori Hellis because they were doing a live stream, and I guess she cut him off. And to this day, he is still really, really bitter about that. That's not normal. That's not normal. But then again, I'm not going to sit here and diagnose someone over the internet like Dr. John would. Sorry, I'm angry about that. That's not cool. Yeah. So anyway, I'm trying to stay focused, but I'm trying to read chat too, and chat wants to talk about all kinds of things. So I'm gonna kind of keep an eye on chat. John despises us all for not being Brad Pitt. Yeah, I know, I know. I tried being Brad Pitt, didn't work so well. Sorry, John, but I want all of you prior or refugee hidden gems, whatever, however you're naming yourself, to know that I don't want to say you're safe here because that sounds pompous and arrogant, but you're obviously welcome here. No one's going to yell at you because you were a hidden gem. I'm going to sit here and say, hey, I bet you're feeling some kind of way right now, and that I bet that sucks. I get it. I totally understand it. You need to vent. Go ahead and vent. You want to scream in an email and use all kinds of swear words? Email me. I'm not going to put it on the internet. But then again, you should never believe anyone when they say that. Okay, remember, never put anything in writing or on the internet that you don't want to become public someday. That's what got a lot of us in trouble. All right. Including Lauren Matthias. That's her whole shtick right now, is that she put a lot of things in writing that she's very afraid are going to become public, and she's trying to get ahead of it. Okay. So that's got to make her diehard supporters feel pretty crappy. Now, when we're dealing with parasocial relationships, I really can't stand that this is still a new thing that we're dealing with as a culture. Okay. 15, 20 years ago, there was no such thing as that. I mean, you might watch your favorite performer on stage and be like, oh, I love him. He's so handsome. Oh, I want to marry him. But it wasn't, you didn't have this level of instant interaction that we do on the internet. And we don't really know how to deal with it. We don't have 100 years of psychological history to say, oh, yes, these are the warning signs, this is how to avoid it. This is all still kind of uncharted territory that we're charting right now. We are the charters of this territory, like how to handle parasocial relationships, especially when they go bad. And I wish that there was a book that I could say, here, the book says this is how you deal with it. Da, 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 da. There isn't. We got to make it up on the fly and figure out what we can do so that we can heal from this, go forward, and not get into the same situation. And for me to sit here and say some of the things I'm about to say to you may seem really dumb because here I am as a YouTuber who you would think would want lots of subs and all this other stuff and want people to trust me and da da da, saying, don't do that shit. that's that's certainly not going to help my channel grow, but that's not what I'm about. Right? I'm not sure I'm going to monetize my channel again. If I start doing regular content, I will. And I want you to know that I'm doing that to cover my costs. StreamYard is like 30, $40 a month. Canva is a couple bucks a month. Hardware, I need to get a new microphone. I just picked up a new camera today. It was cheap. My husband got it for me from his work. So that was really cheap. But still, I had to buy a new camera. I'm going to have to get some makeup. I have some costs that are going to be with doing YouTube again. And if my monthly revenue from AdSense covers my costs, I am really happy. I'm really happy. I'm probably never going to have a Patreon again. I hated that. I really didn't like it. It felt cheaty to me or something. I didn't like it. No. So I won't do that because I'm not here to make six figures, a six-figure income, right? I have plenty of money. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not here to try to milk everyone in chat for super chats. I hate super chats. If there's a way I can turn them off, I will. Because no, no. Channel subs, I like channel subs because they're pretty cheap. I think they're what, $2 a month, or can you set the cost? Back then it was like $1 or $2 a month. That's not bad. That's not bad. I got a little money from that. Uh, but not $20,000 a month or whatever crazy stuff she's making. So it's very hard to talk about things that we need to look for, right, in uh, parasocial relationships, internet relationships, when I'm someone who's in the position of being that person. It's like, uh, I'm going to say, don't immediately trust anyone you meet on the internet, right? Most of us know that because you see little snippets of that. You see what people want you to see, period. Right? Period. Um, that's it. So you never know what you're actually dealing with. All right, when we catch up with chat, there's some interesting things going on. Yes, YouTube takes 30% of super chats, which is kind of gross. To me, that's kind of gross. That's one reason I hate super chats. You think you're sending me $50? No, you're not. No, you're not. YouTube takes almost half of that, 30% or so. And that's, to me, that's ripping people off. I hate it. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. Um, Gray Hughes. Gray Hughes. Let's talk about Gray Hughes for a minute. Hi, Gray. How you doing? I followed Gray for a while, way back. I remember his early coverage of the Delphi case was phenomenal as far as the maps he would have, the this and that, the analyzation of the bridge guy video. He had some good stuff, but I could never watch him because he would sit there and call people in his chat stupid. He'd be like, "No, get out of here, you're stupid." I'm like, Gray, that's not nice. That's not nice." And I was shocked, absolutely shocked at that. So, I don't watch him for that reason. That's his own shtick, and let him do his thing. But I don't like calling people stupid. I have told a couple of people to F off out of chat because they've said some flying monkey type stuff. That's different. I give myself allowance to say that to the flying monkeys. But to people who are just asking questions and just, that kind of thing, then yeah, I'm just going to answer the question. Sea stars, what's going on here? Can we please leave their child out of this? Good God. Plenty of children need help. Help them instead. SNAP is being taken away. Yeah, I know SNAP is being taken away, but we are not talking about that tonight because if I open the door to politics, we're going to have a bad time. We are not going to discuss politics here. As far as the SNAP thing goes, the Shaming of Jay had a fundraiser over the weekend, and I did give him a $50 super chat towards that, which kind of killed me because I knew YouTube was going to take a lot of that. It's like I would have been better off going to a food pantry and giving them $50, you know. Um, but I wanted to support Jay. He raised almost what $3,000, I think, which is amazing, absolutely amazing. I supported him 100% in doing that. That's wonderful. So that's what I'm going to say about Snap. But we're not here to talk about politics or the current administration or what they're doing right now. Tonight we're talking about parasocial relationships with YouTubers. Okay, so we're going to stay on topic. So thank you for your comment. I hope I made sense. You know, there you go. Yeah, I haven't seen Gray Hughes in years, probably 2 or 3 solid years since I've seen. Uh, Yeah, Madeline, I agree. Everyone should follow Jay's lead. If I had any idea how to do a fundraiser stream, I would totally do that because that'd be great. Jennifer, yes, of course you can ask a question. I am trying to read chat as best I can. Hopefully I won't miss it, but I'm looking for you now. Uh, that okay. Wait for Jennifer's question to come up. Um, so yeah, monetization. To me, that's one of the red flags we can look for when we're trying to determine if we're heading into a a dangerous parasocial relationship. Did my friend have a channel? Jennifer, I'm really not sure who you're talking about. Which friend? It's possible? I'm not sure. Have I spoken to Annie Cushing? Not in several years. No, no. Here's what I'm going to say about Annie Cushing. I know that she's starting to put out some videos. She's going over a lot of the maybe unanswered questions from Joe Ryan's death, some of the other stuff regarding some of the other victims. The friend that passed, Denise Rainey. Yes, she had a channel. You can find her. If you look at any of my old videos, she's always linked in the description. And it was Denise Rainey, Rainey, on YouTube. I believe her channel's still there. I don't usually look at it because, boy, you want to see me cry, put one of Denise's videos on. Woo, man. But every once in a while I'll sit down and just put on 4 or 5 of her live streams and just have her going in the background because yeah, her channel is still up. Okay, good, good. Um, yeah, Annie Cushing has started putting out some content. Not entirely sure where she's going with it, other than maybe there are still some questions about the case overall that she wants uh, answered. She's still looking for answers. Um, when I first came across Annie, I thought she was absolutely delightful. She's adorable. She is smart, smart as a whip. Her grasp of how to handle data is just unsurpassed as far as I'm concerned. Um, she's she's hard to get close to. All right, she's had a life that none of us can fully grasp or understand, and she does not suffer fools at all. Uh, but her sometimes she can misperceive comments and things like that, and her and I did have a little falling out over a misunderstanding, and I'm like, I'm just gonna let this go. I'm just gonna let it go because she's got too much to deal with to have to deal with worrying about an argument with someone from YouTube. So I did used to talk to her a bit. We haven't in many years, and that's fine. That's fine. Um, I'm not going to say anything negative about Annie. She is a family member, and I hold the family members sacred, all of them, all of them. whether we're friends or not, whether we get along or not, whether we have fought or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They are above commentary, so to speak. So Annie's putting out videos. She has some good information. So maybe they're worth watching. That's up to you to make that determination. Okay. But I want to get back to the red flags of a dangerous parasocial relationship because I am having a hard time staying on topic tonight. So, monetization is one of them. If the channel is monetized, that's fine. Every YouTuber who does regular content should be monetized because you do have costs. And the Google AdSense can help offset all of those costs, and it might even give you a little extra cash. All right, great. That's fine. Then it can get bigger from there. You can have channel subs. That's another great source of income, and it keeps people coming back to your channel, and it gives you a reason to work harder go the extra mile for your paid subs. But at the same time, I don't think content should be segregated to members only. I hated that members only thing. Because, like, well, how come those people don't get content too? Well, they don't have a sub. Well, what if they can't afford to sub? And I have bad feelings about that. Um, so I think what I did on my channel, I don't think I did a lot of members only, maybe a little here and there, uh, but mostly it was like you get fun emojis in chat. That's about it. Because I didn't want to alienate all the people who couldn't afford subs, right? That doesn't feel good. So I'm always on the side of the underdog. If I was in a chat and I really loved the streamer or the YouTuber, but I couldn't afford a monthly sub and they do all this members only content, I would feel bad. I'd be like, oh, why can't I play with them? Like, I want to go too. So I just think that makes people feel bad. That's just me. So if I ever have member subs, it's just going to be for fun emojis in chat. That's all you're going to get. Sorry. So, but then it goes a step from there. And then you get some people who will only answer comments from super chats. Now, that really bothers me. That really bothers me. I get it if you have like 20,000 people in chat and chat is absolutely flying. The only ones you're going to see are the super chats because they come up on the back end big on your screen. You can't really miss them. Uh, but other than that, just because somebody's throwing money at you doesn't mean their comment is any better or worse than somebody who's isn't. You know that bothers me. So you have to decide for yourself: is this a red flag? Maybe, maybe not. To me, it would be. But then we get to the next step, which is something like Patreon. Okay, now Patreon can be a useful tool for a creator, but how much is it? How much is their Patreon? Is their Patreon $1, 2, or 5? All right, that's not going to hurt too much. Is it 10, 15, or 20? Eh, that's a bit more. What are you getting for $20 a month? How much is Netflix? Right? Netflix, I pay, I think mine is 27.99 a month because I didn't want the ads in it. I think that's too much for Netflix. You think I'm going to pay a YouTuber $30 a month to watch their Patreon content? You're nuts. You're absolutely nuts. All right. Unless I'm getting a personal one on one video call with them for 30 minutes every week. If I liked them enough, maybe that'd be worth it. I don't think so. But I'm certainly not going to pay $30 or more on Patreon to get a couple of videos a month when Netflix has lots of stuff I want to watch. Have you watched The Great British Bake Off? I mean, come on. That's worth $27 a month. A couple of Patreon videos? No, they are not worth that. So, looking at the cost of the Patreon tiers is something you can use to say, is this a red flag? Okay. I think any Patreon over, I think the top tier should be like $20 a month maximum. And even that, I would never do that because I'd feel like I was stealing from people. But that's just me. But once you get into the $50 a month tier, that person is smoking something. Smoking something. No single creator on YouTube has content valued at 2 Netflix subs, right? They're not putting out 20, 30 full-length movies and streaming all your favorite TV shows every month. They're just not. So, yeah, and Dandelion same. I don't pay for cable. I used to have what did I get? YouTube TV. YouTube TV is actually really good as far as it's streaming, the DVR stuff, the channels they have, but it's really expensive. I'm like, yeah, I'm not even paying for that. Because if I want to see something, the information's on Twitter or whatever. I just watch YouTube. I do have YouTube Premium because I'll tell you why I got that. That's what I think $16 a month for YouTube Premium. I didn't even want to pay for that, but uh, I do a lot of crochet tutorials, right? When I crochet visually, I learned how to crochet through YouTube videos. I watch somebody crochet and then I copy them and I do it. But when ads pop up in the middle of my tutorials every 10 minutes makes me insane. Absolutely insane. So that's why I pay for YouTube Premium because I cannot crochet with ads every time I do a stitch. Not happening. But and plus it's good for our whole family. So we have 5 people that use it, and it's like, all right, that I can see that. I can see that. That's okay. But you don't need it. You still don't need it. It's a luxury. All right. But when it comes to Patreon channels and YouTubers, I'm sorry, I can't see a YouTuber who's worth $50 a month. I don't. What are they doing? Are they sitting down and having lunch with you once a month, one on one? Do they call you and say hi, how you doing? You know. So when it comes to determining whether you think you may be headed towards a negative parasocial relationship, think about how much money you are spending on that person. Think about your YouTube membership, your Patreon membership, how much you're giving them in super chats, and what are you getting out of it? Do you think they're your friend? Because you don't have to buy your friends. You don't, right? Most of the people that I got close to on YouTube were not because of super chats or Patreons or channel memberships. It was because they hung out in Discord and talked to me all day while I was lonely. And we got to know each other and became friends. That didn't cost anything. Discord is free, So think about what you're getting in return for your investment in the person that you think is your friend. All right? And I remember sometimes I would get some super chats and I would be like, ugh, I know that person is struggling financially. Why are they sending me a super chat? And there were times when I would reach out to them and be like, hey, you really don't have to do that. I like you just as much whether you send me $50 or you don't. So I would much prefer knowing that that money was going towards groceries or your bills or whatever than come into my pocket. Right? And there were a couple people that I kind of cut off from sending super chats. So, that's something to think about. That's something to think about. Um, I tend to throw super chats a lot because I just get crazy. And here's a good point. Let's talk about this. If I go to a channel, right, and it's somebody that I really, really, really like, and I'm very fond of this person, loving their content, having a great time in chat, and I see a couple people throw a super chat, I'm like, oh, I should do that too, right? Because you want to be part of this super chat. You want to show your support. But maybe you want to make yours a little bit bigger, right? And the next thing you know, you spent $400 or $500 over a month on super chats. That's not really okay in my world. That's just not really okay. Um, I did drop a couple larger super chats the last week, uh, mainly because I really appreciate what some people are doing. Like I sent one to Turtle Boy, mainly because I wanted him to read my comment thanking him. Like I have to pay this guy to read a comment saying thank you. All right, I'll do it. You know, don't do that kind of stuff. So That's my thought on super chats. I don't like them. And did Lauren really make a million? I don't know. I would assume so, just from knowing how YouTube works and how the money works and how AdSense works and the amount of super chat she gets. Yeah, I'd be willing to bet she made a million or more, at least. But I have no idea. So that's just my guess. Okay. So I don't know. But so yeah, let's think about how we're going to approach things going forward, because you're going to find creators that you really like and you're going to want to support them, and you might find yourself in the same position again where, oh man, I thought they were so cool, they turned out to be a complete jerk, man, that sucks. And then you get mad and fine. And you go on, you find another creator. You don't want it to happen again. You want to be able to be very discerning about who you're going to throw that level of support behind. Okay, because at the end of the day, Lauren Matthias has no idea who you are and probably doesn't care, right? So you got to think about that. It's great to have supporters you like, or creators you like. It's great to support them in small but meaningful ways. Like, the best way you can support a creator is to share their channel. Share it out. Say, hey, you can come subscribe to this channel for free. Come hang out in a live chat. Come chat with other people. Come leave some comments. Those are all absolutely free things that you can do that really help support a channel more than a super chat. So we can think about things like that, where we can find ways to support people in ways that are very healthy for our own selves, our own lives. So um, Dakalodic says, Awen, sorry, were you surprised by Megan and Duty Ron came out to defend Lauren? I was. I have no idea about Megan Connor. I've only just heard her name in the last week. No idea who she is. I only think she's a cousin of the Cox family, somewhere in the Cox family. So yeah, I'm not going to say a lot about what I think about that, but I'm sure you can figure that out. Duty Ron, I was very surprised by and very disappointed by. Very, very, very disappointed by that, especially when he said that we're all subhuman because we don't support her. That made me kind of have some feelings about Mr. Duty Ron. I'm not coming down on him. I'm not going at him. I know he's dealing with medical issues and he just got a worse diagnosis. And I feel horrible about that because I did like him for a long time. But yeah, no, don't you call me subhuman because I don't like someone who's scammed a bunch of people and abused people. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna just hope he will just come to his senses, you know, because this is not okay. Uh, let's see what else we got here in chat. I'm scrolling back up a little bit. I wish I had money to show appreciation for content, like share. Yeah, Dandelion. There's so many people. Like, if we all had a lot of money, would we be sitting around watching YouTube all day? Maybe. You know, like, I am actually disabled, so I don't get out a whole lot. I fill my day mostly with YouTube because I don't have cable TV anymore because it's a waste. But I'm usually watching trials and this and that. Um, but throwing money at creators, that helps them at the end of the day with their bank account, but it doesn't help them grow their channel. The best thing to do is get a friend or two to tune in and watch it. Get a friend. The more likes you have on a video, one of the best things you can do is be like, hey, everyone in chat, don't forget to hit the like button. It sucks that we as creators have to say, please like and subscribe every 10 minutes. But you really do. If you want to get bigger on YouTube, you have to get those likes and you have to get those subs. But those are also free, right? Those are free. So knock yourself out. Get subs, get likes, do things like that. Share it on X, I guess. I call it Twitter. To me, it'll always be Twitter. Oh, is Kresha here? Is she? Kresha. Actually, I need to call you tomorrow, maybe. Oh, Kresha, thank you so much for stopping by. As you know, Kresha is a family member of the case and someone who I absolutely adore to no end. And I think I have a Christmas present for Kresha, so I gotta talk to Kresha in the next day or two. If you can give me a call whenever you want, yeah, I think I have a Christmas present for Kresha. So yeah, and see, there is a lot of fallout from the hidden true crime, and imagine how many subs have they lost? 6,000 last I looked. They've lost a lot of subs. That's 6,000 people who are dealing with the disillusionment. Yeah, disillusionment of someone that they really liked. They're dealing with feeling like, oh, she's not at all who I thought she was. Ooh, ugh, yeah. And I think as a community, we need to embrace them and be like, hey, it's okay. It's okay. You're gonna be okay. Um, and nobody's mad at you. You know, don't feel like, oh, I can't show my face because I used to be a hidden gem. No, show your face and say, hey, I used to really like her, and now I learned some things that I really don't like, and it's okay. Right? But it's okay to feel betrayed. It's okay to feel angry, um, and it's also okay to laugh. Okay, I'm going to get into that in 1 second, but I do want to say for all of you in chat, if you are not following Kresha's channel, her channel is Difficult Research, which is a very clever name, uh, and certainly speaks to the work that she's doing. She's doing amazing work, amazing research. So go over there and give her a subscribe because she's amazing. So that is her channel. I can't drop a link right now with the way my computer is going, but if the mods can drop a link to difficult research, that would be awesome. So yeah, please support Kresha. And when I say that, I don't mean form a parasocial relationship with her. I mean watch her videos, like her videos, support her, do what you can to get the word out, that kind of stuff. We're going to do healthy supporting here. We're not going to get crazy. Yeah, because there's some crazy shit going on. All right, the other thing I was going to mention, what was it? It was important. Let's talk about relationship. Oh, it's okay to laugh. Now, my daughter is actually studying psychology. She is not a PhD. She is not diagnosing anyone. Uh, but I picked her brain about this a little bit. I'm like, hey, when I was studying psychology, there was no such thing as a parasocial relationship. That wasn't a word, right? So, what do you think, as being someone in a younger generation who sees this stuff? How do you deal with parasocial relationships? And she had a lot of really good information. Um, she did a case study on how parasocial relationships are shaping the culture in places like Japan, right? Where parasocial relationships are huge. Like it is a thing over there, especially with like the K-pop groups and things like that, where it can go from, oh yeah, I like that band, to absolute stalker territory crazy, and the entire gamut in between. And one of the things is that the culture in Japan is a lot more unforgiving when it comes to bad behavior and stuff like that. So they have a big uh they have a big problem with it over there because that is a thing. Hold on, I'm adding Cement Shoes as a moderator. Thank you. I don't know if you want me to say your real name, but I remember your real name. But thank you, Cement Shoes. I'm so glad to see you. So glad to have you back. Cement Shoes is another person that I've known for many, many years. So I absolutely trust him to be a mod on this channel, and y'all can trust him too. Okay? Just want to put that out there. He's not just some random person I just met yesterday. I'm extremely trusting, and I need to not do that. But all right, so parasocial relationships and laughter. All right. One thing that struck me as odd when I was watching Turtle Boy's coverage of Lauren's 9 Hour Live was how hard I laughed. And I laughed at the first one. The second, I think it was his second or his third. I forget which segment it was, where I was sitting here crocheting, so I wasn't even looking at the screen. And I'm crocheting, I'm listening to him, like, yeah, that's funny. And I look up at the screen, and he's got those eyebrows on his forehead. Literally dropped my crochet, spit out my drink, and I was like, oh, oh my God. That was the funniest thing I have ever seen. Mainly because I didn't even know he had done it, because he didn't miss a beat. He just kept talking. And next thing you know, he's got these eyebrows on. So I had to rewind it to see how that happened. I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Um, and I thought, here I am sitting here laughing. Now, remember my very first video about the Lauren issue? I felt really bad for her. I really did. I was still really angry with her, but I could imagine how terrible she must have been feeling, right? She must have been absolutely panic stricken and fearful. And even though not for the reason she stated, right? But I could still empathize with how horrible she must be feeling. Um, I got over that pretty quick, pretty quick. Uh, yeah, I did. Um, but yeah, I laughed like a fool watching Turtle Boy. And then I felt really guilty. I was like, I should not be laughing at that. I shouldn't be, because she's in a really bad place. I need to be empathetic. I need to try to be helpful. I was like, you know what? It is okay to just cut back and laugh once in a while. It really, really is. Sometimes, wait, do not use the Benadryl. Why not use Benadryl? It works really great. Um, Bron, hey Bron, how are you? I still have to catch back up with you on Twitter. I totally forgot. Uh, was this the first case that family members were on YouTube as creators? Um, no. We did have family of the Watts case, Shanann's brother, and boy did that go badly. Boy did that go badly. Um, Shanann's brother had fallen in with a particular YouTuber that I cannot remember her name. Some blonde lady who there was a whole thing about having a meet and greet with him in New Orleans, and oh, did that go bad? Holy cow! Um, and that, yeah, I can't remember her name. No Ben. Okay, I see. No Benadryl, but I don't know why. Because was it Critical K? No, Molly Go Lightly. Thank you, thank you. That's her name. Holy crap! That was a mess. That was a mess. So yeah, that was one of the cases where a family member jumping into the YouTube mix got taken for a ride like you cannot believe. Yeah, Molly Golightly actually got arrested in New Orleans for drunken disorderly conduct or something. Oh, holy crap, that was a thing. Frankie Ruzek, yes, that was his name. Thank you, Joe. Um, so yeah, for me now, okay, I'm sitting here, and y'all know that I've talked to a lot of the family in the Valor Daybell case. um I consider Kresha a friend, like real friend, not internet friend. But I can still sit here and say, I don't think if you are a family or victim member of a crime that's being covered like these big cases are on YouTube, I don't think you should jump into the fray, because there are people that are going to beeline for you to try and get an interview, or try to weasel into your life, or try to clout chase, I guess, use you for momentum for their own channel. And that is always going to happen. There's no way to stop that. There just isn't, because that's just what the YouTube people want. All right, I'm just gonna check this deleted message. See what is going on here. Oh, yeah. Cam Imans, I appreciate your warning about Benadryl. Um, it's working for me right now, and I'll be okay. I'll be okay. So, but let's stay on topic because we're not talking about medical conspiracies or anything right now. But I will look into it. I promise you, I will Google that. Okay, just to set your mind at ease. Because if that is the case, then I'd probably want to stop taking it too. But yes, Molly Golightly was a huge part of the watch drama, and definitely used and abused Frankie Rusek in a bad way. So yeah, I mean, this is not something. This is not something that's only happening with Lauren. This is something that's happened for years. It will always happen. So all the best that we can do as a community is to learn these warning signs, identify them, call them out, stay away, and keep ourselves straight. Right? It's hard. It's hard to do that because we want to find someone that we really connect with on YouTube. We really want to get close to them and get to know them and part of their lives and support them and send them money and but the second they do something wrong that you don't like, you're gonna have issues. And those feelings are real. All right. And that's something that even I have to be careful going forward. Of course, I want people to like me on YouTube. Of course I do. That why else would you do YouTube? I don't know. That's not even right. But you don't want people, I guess some people do. Come on YouTube just to say things to make people angry. That's not my game. Um, but at the same time I have to be careful not to foster those kinds of relationships, right? And at times that might make me come across as kind of rude. Right? If someone's getting a little too close to me and I think that's probably not a good idea, and I sort of back off a little bit or appear a little bit more distant in email replies or this or that, does that make me mean or rude? Eh, no, but I can't be over the top. Oh, you're my new best friend. Oh, this is going to be great. Da, da, da. Because that sets them up for disappointment. It sets them up for an unhealthy relationship. It sets me up for the possibility of issues down the road with that person. You have to be exactly. Thank you, Bella. That's where my brain was looking for. Boundaries are important and boundaries are healthy. All right. But usually, when you're placing a boundary, the person who is on the receiving end of that boundary is unhappy. Does that make sense? that's that's just how it goes. So it is. I think it is the responsibility of our YouTubers, our Twitch streamers, our TikTokers, all of us to have those boundaries to help people not form those kinds of relationships. Okay. I hope you like me. I hope you enjoy what I say. I want to get to know you a bit. I want you to get to know me a bit, but a bit. A bit. I am the most introverted extrovert you could ever meet. Like, I love doing live streams on YouTube and talking to all kinds of people. I love it. But at the same time, don't look at my windows. Don't come near my house. Don't No, 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 no. I am hugely introverted in real life. The internet gives me a layer of, I don't know, I feel safer talking to a bunch of people on the internet than I do in real life. If I was at a party, I would be hiding in the bathroom because I don't like lots of people. But on here, I'm like, hey, everybody, let's talk. Woohoo, this is great. I don't understand why I do that. Ambivert. There you go. Yeah, but so exactly, Divergent says you really never know people from the internet, and you don't. You know what they want you to see of them. That's it. That's it. Um, like there are very few people on the internet uh, that know everything about my life. There's some like my spirituality. I keep that very close to the chest because it's mine and I don't want to share it. I don't want to have to defend it. I don't want to argue about it. I don't care what you think about it. It's mine. So I'm not going to sit here and do a live stream all about my personal spirituality, my relationship with the divine. None of your business, right? So do you really know me all that well if you don't know that? That's something to think about, right? Uh, you don't know a lot of my past, my childhood. I talked about a decent amount of it in the Toxic List podcast to show why things happen, but nobody's going to know everything. You know, do you know what kind of socks I prefer to wear? Of course not. My husband does. I mean, so you never really know someone on the internet as well as you may want to. And whoever you're talking with on the internet can be misrepresenting that so easily, and you can't tell. You just can't tell because you can say anything. All right. So that's a problem. That is absolutely a problem. And certainly Lauren presented herself in a certain way. I'm a journalist. My husband is a forensic psychologist. And we're going to tell you all everything you need to know about the crime and da 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 da. But nobody knows their real life. Like we're still arguing in comments about is she LDS or not because nobody knows because she said both, right? It's like, well, I don't know how much that matters in the big scheme of things, but it might. It might. How come we don't have an answer to that? Why? Because she is an internet personality. You don't know her real life. You don't know her real self. And we have all just in the last, since what, how many days? It's only been like a week since the live show. Has it only been like 7, maybe 10, 14 days? I don't know. It's been probably under 2 weeks since the 9-hour live stream. And stories are still coming out. I'm still getting comments from people every day about, oh, well, she did this to me, she did that to me, or emails. I don't want to go public with this, but this is what Lauren did to me. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go public with somebody else's story. That's not my job. That's not mine to tell. But I feel like I'm crazy. I feel like I want to scoop everybody up in a giant big hug and have a big pot of hot chocolate together, and say, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I'll give you a hug. We're going to be okay. Uh, but I feel a sense of responsibility towards the community to say, okay, you're fleeing from over there. You need a place to land and kind of settle down a little bit and come to terms with what you're feeling. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Um, that's how I approach life in all things. I am the person that when somebody I knew a couple years ago suddenly has hit rock bottom, who do they call? They come to me. Why? Because I'm going to set them on the couch. I'm going to give them some food. We're going to have a drink. We're going to have a talk. I'm going to help them get back on their feet. Right? That's just the person that I am. So that's what I feel now. Sorry, itchy head. Is that I have a responsibility towards all of the refugees. I don't really like that word, but that's what they're calling themselves. That have no place to land. Right? They don't know where to turn. They don't know what to do next. They don't know who to trust. They don't know what to believe, and they're kind of spinning around. They're spinning around. And that sucks. I hate that feeling. I've been there a few times. It's not fun. Like, for instance, let me tell you a story about my neighbor. This is a good story. I had a neighbor. Actually, a bunch of guys moved in, mid-20s. Funny guys. We had a great time. And then one of the guys moved out, and some other guy moved in. And he was a little problematic. Didn't want to work. Very, very lazy guy. Uh, kind of taking from the others. And then that guy's wife moved in, estranged wife, and her 2 kids moved in. And I'm like, there's like 9 people in that 3-bedroom apartment. That's kind of all right. You do you. Not my thing. Um, so what do? There's 2 little kids. They were 9 and 11. And they came out and said, hi. I'm like, hi. And so I'm like, well, you guys are hanging out outside a lot. So I started talking to them like you talk to kids. Hi, honey, how was your day at school? And then they would want to come over and visit. So I said, I know. Let's do fun science experiments, right? I'm a scientist. I got science experiments coming out the wazoo. Let's do some science. So I thought we started with oobleck, made a non-Newtonian fluid, and they thought that was the coolest stuff they had ever seen, right? And they made an absolute disaster in my patio, but they had fun. And I was like, okay, this is cool. I can play with the kids, entertain them, but also do something they're learning a little bit here and there, and it was fun. We're having a great time. I also noticed that their toes were poking through their shoes, and I was like, okay, you guys need shoes. So I asked my neighbors, like, can I take your kids to the shoe store? He was like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, oh, okay. So I put him in the car and went and bought shoes, right? Because they needed shoes. Got the kid $100 pair of Nikes, and his parents wouldn't even teach him how to put them on the right feet. He kept wearing them on the wrong feet. I'm like, you're going to wear the shoes out. They're going to rip. They're going to break. You got to put them on the right feet. He didn't know how to tie his shoes either. I'm like, okay, here we go. So I started taking care of these kids in ways that was probably not healthy or appropriate, because they would come to me because they were hungry. Mom didn't feed us. I'm hungry. All right, come on in. Make them dinner. All right, go home. Got them toys. One of them loved to draw, so I got her paper and pens and crayons, and the other one liked to play with clay. And he's actually brilliant with clay. Like, I don't know how he does this stuff. So got him a whole set of clay. Parents wouldn't let them take the clay home because he'd make a mess. I'm like, fine, you can come over here and use it. Um, so I developed a relationship with the kids because I love kids. It was going great. But then the parents started having issues with a lot of drug use and a lot of other stuff. And it got ugly. It got ugly. CPS did get involved, you know, state mandated reporter. There's only so much I could do, you know. Uh, and they started kind of working out of things. But these neighbors, ever since the wife and kids moved in, we have had an absolute nightmare of a time. Nightmare. Um, they had, when the woman moved in, she brought bed bugs with her. You don't want bed bugs in an apartment building. Oh, you do not, because they get in the walls and they get everywhere. And we have had our apartment bombed many times just to make sure they don't come in. We don't have any, but we are absolutely vigilant, crazy vigilant, to make sure we don't get them. And it's just a nightmare. Okay, this woman has put me through all kinds of nightmares with her nonsense living next door. Uh, Finally had a long talk with the landlord about it, and they're gone. They moved out yesterday. I was sitting outside on my patio, and I see them, her and the kids, hauling bags and bags of stuff out, and I'm like, huh, are they going to the laundromat, or are they actually moving? And I watched. I didn't say anything because we don't talk to them anymore. Uh, and they were actually moving out. I'm like, oh, joyous day. This is the best day ever. I was so happy that they were leaving. But yeah, at the same time, I was a little sad that the kids were going, because at least having them there, I could keep an eye on them, right? They weren't showing up hurt and bruised and this and that. It's like, okay, good. So I felt better being able to visually see the kids and know that they were okay. But whatever, that they're not my kids. It's not my problem. I need to stop. But today, the mom was there getting the last of the things out of her apartment, and she asked my husband, we were sitting outside, she's like, oh, could you help me move something to the truck? And he's like, what? Uh. Now, my husband, he's, if you saw him, you'd think he was about 55. He's actually 71, but he's fit. He's very handsome. He's very strong, So he was like, yeah, I guess. So he helped her move something, and he, like, I didn't even want to touch it. It was a little mini fridge, but he was like, what if there's a bug on it? I don't want bugs, because you get one bed bug on you, and you've got them for, ugh. So he didn't even want to go in the apartment. And I'm like, and the nerve of you to even ask us for help after what you've done. But you know what? He helped her. He helped her. And a little bit later, she was bringing out a garbage bag full of cutlery and dishes. And it ripped. And all the plates fell on the ground and smashed right outside my patio. And I'm like, oh. And I look at her. She throws her hands up in the air like, oh. And I'm like, well, that sucks. Not my problem. I didn't drop what do you want me to do? And she's just standing there looking at me like, can you do something? I'm like, no. It's just like, that sucks. Pick it up. right? And then she starts with the sob story. Oh, well, we have to go to a hotel. We have to stay in a hotel because we haven't found an apartment yet. We were supposed to be out of here yesterday, but I have to be out by today. I only have the truck till 4 o'clock, but I'm moving all this furniture all by myself because my stupid husband is at work and he told me I have to do it by myself because it's my fault. We got evicted and blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I don't need your story. I don't need your story because I'm going to feel guilty about this and I'm going to sit here and help you. And so my husband's like, come on, time to go shopping. Let's go. Okay, bye. And grabbed me and off we went. And we didn't come back till like 3:30 so to make sure she would be really gone because I would have 100% gotten roped into helping her. I know I would have because I would have felt guilty. I would have put myself in her situation and be like, yeah, that sucks having to move all this furniture by yourself and then breaking a pile of plates and you're just like frazzled and yeah, But that's not my job. That's not my job. So I tend to take that stuff on very personally. I have a problem with that. And see, a lot of people say, oh, I'm an empath, right? Like it's some great, it is not a great thing. It is not. Okay? It is definitely not a great thing because you get yourself in some dang pickles. Let me tell you. Um, so that's another thing to consider when you're talking about relationships like this is you can too easily empathize with someone to the point where you're cutting off your own nose to spite your face. So we got to stop doing that. Uh, Let me catch up with chat because I was telling my story and I wasn't reading anything, and I want to see what Kresha was saying. Uh, Lauren struck. Yep, Lauren Matthias copyright struck a live stream that Kresha did with her mother Kay, and I was there too. But what Kay was saying was something people were really waiting to hear. What does Kay have to say about this? Because that was a big part of the issue. And Lauren copyright struck it. Like, are you kidding me? Oh, that made me so mad. We absorb everyone's energies too, and they drain ours. Then off to rest and charge back up. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I spent most of the day out shopping. Yes, I had a great time shopping, but every 5 minutes the conversation went back to this woman, and I'd be like telling my husband, but don't you think Heidi's feeling? He was like, "Can you stop?" I'm like, "Stop what?" It's like, "Why are you thinking about Heidi?" I was like, "Because it's got to be terrible for her back there." And I feel so guilty that I didn't help her. He's like, do you remember how much you spent on bed bug treatments because of that woman? I'm like, yeah, I did. I spent a lot of money because I didn't like the building maintenance guys. I actually hired a professional because I didn't trust them. Because if I see a bed bug, I'm gonna lose my mind. So yeah, she's cost me a lot of money. The issues with the kids, this and that. I don't owe this woman anything, but I could not stop thinking about her situation. Um, and what to do, you know. And then at the same time, we were where we were going today. We drove through a part of town that's really bad. There's a large homeless encampment, um, and I'm like, can we just stop and buy like 100 McDonald's meals and come give them out? My husband's like, you know, honey, you gotta stop. I said, okay, so, but for Christmas, I want to give a sizable donation to this charity center right here, who's obviously feeding these people because they're in line for food. He's like, all right, that's a smarter idea. Give them money to at least fund them for a week or two, whatever. So, all right. So I have to find creative ways for my empathy to channel itself before, I will never be a billionaire because as fast as money comes to me, I am giving it away because I don't need it. Somebody else does, but you can get in trouble. And you can even get in trouble with that on YouTube. All right. So don't be giving out super chats if you're struggling to buy groceries or your car payment's late. Don't, because it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. You're not going to change that creator's life in a bad way if you don't give them a super chat. Okay, um, don't feel guilty. If you've got tons of money to spare, by all means, and you want to help a streamer that you know could actually really use it and it could help them, absolutely, I am all for things like that. But when you get into a streamer like Lauren Matthias, who's obviously got enough money for plastic surgery and Botox like every other day, uh, she doesn't need your super chat. She doesn't. So I get really upset about that kind of stuff. Uh, wait, Krisha is scolding herself. No, 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 no. Uh, yeah, don't scold yourself. Krisha, you are always allowed to say whatever you need, and that's a big thing. Krisha, I feel from what I have seen over the years, has always been kind of kept quiet or kept pushed down a little bit, like not taken seriously by the Lauren Matthiases of this world. And that's why I was like, please go on, Turtle Boy. I want to see you go big. Not that Turtle Boy is the biggest, but you know, he's a much bigger streamer than I'll ever be. Uh, he's got a huge channel, a lot of following. I would love to see Kresha on Turtle Boy get to say some things, you know, say some things. Uh, it's okay to say some things. Yeah, a lot of people have a right to be angry with Lauren Matthias right now. A lot of people are hurt, and a lot of people are just fed up with it. So, yeah, I can get one more drink. Ravina said it very well. People will straight up dismissive of Gresha. I hate the way she's been treated because she's smart, warm, engaging, plus a really great researcher. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, case in point, I was doing a lot of research on the Mormon extremist cult group surrounding Lori and Chad. And whenever I'd come up with a name, with Crusher, have you heard this name? Oh, let me tell you about that person. And she'd have the whole story. Be like, goodness, is there anyone she hadn't heard of? No, there wasn't. I never came up with a name that Crusher didn't already know. So yeah, her research is just amazing. And you know, it's gotta be public one of these days. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I'm putting some thought to what I want to do with my channel. A lot of the comments I've gotten have been from people who used to listen to Toxic Bliss and telling me how much it helped them out of a toxic relationship. That means more to me than anything. I'm like, I actually helped you? Whoa, I was just giving us a place to chat about it. That's amazing. I want to do that. So I'm thinking I might focus back on that because that thinking that I could actually help someone is that's all I want to do, you know? And I might not even monetize. If I'm going to do Toxic Bliss, I might not monetize it because I don't want people telling me I'm grifting off someone else's pain because that's baloney. That's absolutely baloney. Um, so I don't know. I'm going to think about all that. But right now, I want everyone to know if you were a hidden gem and you've made your way over here and you're wrestling with all the feelings that are coming up, it's okay. And I really do feel you and understand you. I'm not asking you like, okay, well now you have to like me instead. No, no, you don't have to like me. What you need to do is just sit back a little bit and think about things. You know, don't jump into a new relationship with a YouTuber like me when you're still reeling with that one. Okay, it's like what do they call those relationships when you break up with your boyfriend and you date someone else real quick? Don't do that. Don't do that. Because you have to process how you're feeling. You have to process all your thoughts and all that stuff. I do have an email address. It's in the description. It's awenreespodcast at gmail.com. And please, if you share your experience, tell me if you want to share it publicly or not. I won't share it publicly unless I have your express permission, but certainly all names redacted, that kind of thing. Just let me know how you want me to handle it. If you just want me to listen, that's great too. I am very good at listening and I will reply. I will read it and reply. So let me know what you would like out of that. And then, yeah, please do share your story. All right. And I promise I will handle it however you want. And that's the same with all of our toxic bliss that we used to do. People, they were free to send me their stories of their toxic relationships. And I would either share it if they wanted me to, share it without names, share it anonymously, or just talk privately. Right. So totally up to you how you want to deal with that. All right. So let me know what I can do if you're struggling with a Lauren Matthias issue. All right. If you're struggling with having been a hidden gem for so long and maybe given lots of money and really supported her and thought it was all wonderful, and now you're feeling like you're just spinning around like, what just happened? Okay. Uh, you may be struggling. You may actually need to talk to someone to kind of ground yourself and look at where to go forward. All right. I don't want you to latch on to me as like a replacement because that's not healthy. I would like you to be here and listen to the live chats and chat with other people because you want to get grounded. All right. So there's a distinction there that's important. But understand that I'm not looking out for me. I'm fine. I don't need a YouTube channel. I don't need your money. I don't need any of that stuff. So do not worry about me. I'm dealing with my own feelings, all that crap from the past coming up, and I've had to work through it. And you've seen me go from my very empathetic first video to a very, very sad second one to a very angry third and fourth and fifth one. I'm moving through the process. I'm on my way, uh, and I'm okay. So don't worry about me. But I want you to know that there is someone who is worried about you. Okay, there really is. Lauren Matthias isn't. All right, she's not. She's got your money. She's on her way. She's doing her thing. But I'm worried about you. I want to make sure you know somebody sees you and you're okay, no matter what you're feeling. If you're laughing at the arches, the McArches on Turtle Boy, if you're yelling, if you're suddenly following everything Lily in London ever posted, I get you. All right, I get you, and you're gonna be okay. Okay, so I really wanted to make that clear. Um, I don't know what's going on with Colby. Colby is one of the family members I never talked to. I never did. Not because I don't care about Colby, but because he was going through a lot that I could not really understand. All right. I couldn't place myself in Colby's shoes. I couldn't get a good read on him from his lives. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to talk to Colby. I talked to him a little bit in via chats and stuff. Uh, I congratulated him on the birth of his second daughter, things like that. But I didn't reach out to Colby in that way. Mainly because he's a different generation. I don't understand that generation. They're on another planet as far as me. So I didn't know what to say to Colby. I care very much about Colby. I really do. I hope he's okay. I hope he finds his way. He's trying to. He's been working on it. Um, but that's just who Colby is. So I'm not following him. I'm not following his channel. I don't know what he's saying. I know that he recently did an interview with Lauren, and that kind of hurt a little bit because I'm like, oh no, oh, here she's doing it again. She's doing it again. She's weaseling into another family member's life, and that's not going to end well for Colby. And I don't like that. So that's just me. That's just me. Uh, YTW says it's not healthy to attach to any YouTubers. That is very true. It is not. Now, that being said, I have made some really good real life friends from my time on YouTube, but those are very few and far between. Very, very few and far between. And it's better to keep it that way. Uh, Christian says, always open to new perspective and tips. Appreciate respect anonymously. If you ever see, when Kresha says that, she really means it, and I can attest to that because some of the live streams that I would be in over the years and see her pop up, and I'd be like, "You're watching this?" She's like, "Yeah, I want to hear that point of view. It's really different from mine." I'm like, "Whoa, huh? I respect that." I'm not doing that, but huh, that's good. So yeah, there's probably not a more open-minded person you're gonna find. So that's kind of a big deal. Uh, for some reason, some live streams lately have the original or email name. Oh yeah, YouTube keeps going back and forth on that. The name that you registered with, not your display name, is I don't know. There's nothing that we can do on this end about it. It's just YouTube, and they've gone back and forth 2 or 3 times over the last couple of weeks. I don't get it. I don't like it. Just leave it the way it was. But you know. If it helps from certain people, like my friend Gertrude, changing their name every time they turn around to try to pretend they're a different person, that's useful to me. So, okay, I'll go with it. Hmm. Marsick says the HTC interviewed Colby and posted it just a couple of days before the 9 hour live. Afterwards, I felt really bad for Colby. It's like they used to. Yeah, Marsick, that's exactly how I feel. I feel like, oh no, Colby doesn't need this in his life. He doesn't need more crap to deal with. Just leave him alone. If you want to support Colby, go to his channel, sub to his channel, uh, tune into his lives, give him likes, help his channel grow. That is the best way anybody can support Colby while keeping yourselves in check and in the right place and doing something actually useful for him, which is not sending him all your grocery money. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Uh, he's going to be let down in the end. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of, Brenda. I'm very afraid of that. I don't know how many more knocks Colby can take. It's like, oh, I don't like that. Wait, Crusher, she struck both of your videos? Oh, goodness. The same was streamed to FB and YouTube. Good grief. Good grief. Lauren, what is wrong with you, for the love of God? So she's afraid of you for something. Ravina says, I'm back in the World of Warcraft and playing with the same team for 20 years. Oh, oh, man. I can't. I played World of Warcraft for, I think, 10 years, like 10, 12 hours a day. I was a world first chasing raid leader. Yeah, World of Warcraft was a monstrous part of my life. Absolutely. I can't go back. Cannot do it because that's it. Everything else will stop. It was absolutely an addiction for me. So yeah, no more WoW. I still play games, but I don't get into big MMOs like that because they take over my brain. I was a bear druid. I was the top geared and rated druid on my server for many, many years. Uh, did world first back in um, Ruby Dragon Shrine. That was our world first kill. That was a long time ago. A long time ago. Yeah. Boy, that fight was fun. So yeah, that was me. I am a gamer. I'm a nerd. Absolute nerd. I don't try to hold it. World of Warcraft. Yep, it was. It was. Yeah. Yeah. So I have a lot of weird stuff like that in my past. Good night, Betty Boop. Thank you so much for being here. Um, I hope to see you again soon. All right. So I am going to start wrapping this up. Uh, I don't have, unfortunately, there is not a psychological manual that says how you deal with the loss of a relationship with your favorite YouTuber, right? We don't have the cultural research yet to have put that together so I can give you tips other than just take a step back, pull back a little bit. You don't need to have any great big YouTuber in your life. Just watch what you want to watch. Little by little, let yourself sort of settle back into a routine with someone that you can enjoy their content, but understand that the content is not the person, and never take anything at face value, and just don't believe anything 100%. Okay? So you can like a YouTuber's content and not like the person. That's okay. All right? Just kind of kick back and relax a little bit. But if you need to talk about it, I totally get you. I am here for you. Just let us know. Up, feeding it has found cement shoes. All right. All right. There's another reunion. So, all these great reunions. Um, Scratch says, I don't know if she fears me, although in my mind, I always thought she should. I also think she's petty, and anyone who weaponizes the legal system is full of landmines to throw out to people. Absolutely. Absolutely. But we're not going to let her do that. Because, no. And someone did ask me if I got a cease and desist. If I did, I would have made a live stream about it already, and I would have showed it and be like, "Ha! Look what I got!" Ah! Because I don't have any fucks left to give. I don't care. I just don't. All right, so uh, I will have a channel announcement in the next couple days. I did buy my camera today, so working on that. I'm working on it, guys. I'm getting it together. I get things together slowly now. I'm old, so cut me some slack there. I do not move quickly. Um, but I am going to relaunch the channel. Not entirely sure what I'm going to focus on, but I really think the Toxic Bliss style, dealing with recovery, dealing with healing, dealing with, hey, you need someone to hold your hand. That's me. I can hold your hand. I can hold a lot of hands. Okay. That's what I want to do. I just want to help people. Right. I want to be someone that you feel has got your hand. Right. And if I can do that even for one person, I've done something great. So that's my plan going forward. I am going to pick my daughter's brain. She is looking up some peer reviewed psychological papers about parasocial relationships and how to deal with it. And we're going to go through all that research. And hopefully, I will have some kind of plan that will work for getting over it. Um, Crash says she struck this one today. Why the gap? Was it a friendly reminder? Oh, goodness. You know what? Ugh, maybe I'll start dropping some receipts. No, I can't, shouldn't even say that, but I could. This has got to stop. We got to find a way to make it stop. I'm going to put some thought to that, Kresha. But Kresha, yeah, if you get a chance either tonight or tomorrow, give me a call. I want to talk about something, a plan I have for Christmas, because I think it'd be fun. Uh, so yeah. All right, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go find my husband. Where the heck is my husband? I haven't seen him in 2 hours. But yeah, please stay tuned to the channel. Give me a couple days. I'm gonna work on my launch video and come out with some stuff because I'm ready to start doing some stuff. So, are you saying your give a damn is busted? In some ways, absolutely. K lore. Sorry, I'm not saying that right, but yeah. I got no fucks left to give except all the ones that I have for you guys because let's do something great. All right. Let's take Lauren Matthias's giant mistake and turning it into a win for all the rest of us. So I will talk to you all very soon. Have a wonderful evening and a beautiful day. And remember, do no harm, but take no shit from anyone. And I'll talk to you soon. Good night.